Today's episode of In the Trenches is brought to you by System 12 Guitar Method. Sign up today at RyanRoxie.com.
In the Trenches with Ryan Roxie.
What's happening, folks? Welcome to another edition of In the Trenches. I am your host, Ryan Roxie. It has been a crazy hot week over here, man. You wouldn't think living at the North Pole it would get so hot, but I'm already got a sweat going, and it shows no sign of letting up. My cat literally is in the other room with like a freezing towel on it and not moving at all. It's digging on it. But why am I talking like that? Why am I talking so much? Because I'm waiting for all of you to get into the chat right now at our official Ryan Roxie YouTube channel. That's Ryan Roxie Official on YouTube, because we want you here. Welcome to In the Trenches. It's our weekly podcast. And of course, if you'd like to help out our algorithm right now, if you're here watching this, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because that'll make the YouTube gods, the Facebook gods shine down upon us. Lady Rock should shine down upon us, as it always does here in the trenches. So there you go. If you're listening to us on an audio broadcast, thank you so much for doing that. But we'd really like you here in the live chat in the Ryan Roxie Official YouTube channel. All right. Are you ready to do it? You ready to dive in? You know how I always talk about passing the torch of rock and roll onto the next generation. Well, our guests today are that generation. And now they're here to talk about their self-titled debut album that is out now. I think it actually just got released yesterday or today. Good timing for us, great timing for them, but best of all, perfect timing for you guys. Would you please welcome, and they're here to talk about that album and a whole bunch more, but please welcome into the trenches a couple of new schoolers here to talk some rock with an old schooler like me. From the band Robot Monster, please welcome Will and Logan. Hello, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
There you are. What did I say before the show started? I said, are you guys ready for the best fucking interview of your career?
Yeah,
let's do it.
We're very.
How's it going up there in the great Northeast? Because you guys are based out of Connecticut, right?
Right. Yeah, Connecticut. Yeah. Beautiful Connecticut. Yeah.
New Haven. And is there still construction going up and down the 95 like it always has been your whole entire life?
Yeah.
Well, I used to live in New York for a while and spent a lot of years going up and down that 95 through Connecticut, playing Connecticut. And you guys have just been blowing it up in the last couple years. And we want to hear all about Robot Monster and the debut album that you guys just released, self-titled. Take us through it real quick. It's out now. What's the best place for people right now? They don't want to watch the entire interview. They just want to find out where to get your record. Where would they get it?
We can buy our vinyl on our website, robotmonstermusic.com. But it's out on we got it right here. It's out on streaming platforms though. It just came out yesterday. Spotify, Apple Music.
You can listen to it everywhere. Spotify, YouTube, any social media, you'll be able to find it.
The cool thing is, I discovered you guys through social media, and we're going to talk about the way you guys have marketed yourselves brilliantly since the inception of the band. But folks, if you're watching the screen, usually I have one member of the band, maybe sometimes a couple members of the band. I've got the entire band with me today with Robot Monster, because you guys are one of those special things they call a rock duo. Or is there another name that the kids are calling it these days?
That's pretty much it. A rock duo. Yeah. That's how we define ourselves, describe ourselves.
And so you, Logan, you play the drums and Will plays the guitar.
Yep.
That is correct.
Yep. And
I see. I've done my research. I've done my due diligence. I can't help but see you guys pretty much every day on Instagram. And again, one of those things that I think a lot of people that are watching now have seen those small clips that you've put out. Now, are all those clips that you've been putting out with the songs and with the music on Instagram, TikTok, and all those social media platforms, are they on the debut album?
Yeah, so we post a lot of So a lot of what so it really started with the whole Instagram thing and social media thing long before we recorded the album, and a lot of sort of our jams formulated into songs that are now on the album.
And was it always, did you guys meet in music school, or did you guys just meet did you ever decide that like, hey, I want a bass player, but we can't find a bass player? When did you decide that a duo was your thing?
Well, I always knew Will. He was when I was a younger kid, Will's a little older than me, and he was playing with my brother in bands and stuff, and also playing locally around New Haven. And so I always sort of knew him, and like we did this rock camp and like jazz camp type stuff, little ensembles and stuff when we were growing up, and I just always knew Will, and he lived close to me. But it wasn't until 2020, like right at the start of the pandemic, that we decided to link up and start making some videos together. It was completely spontaneous, and we had no intention of actually trying to start like a legitimate band. It really was kind of a natural thing. We just wanted to make some videos together. We thought it would be cool, and it sort of evolved into this.
Well, so basically you're one of the only good things that came out of the pandemic then so far. So the thing is, the words that are not my words, but they're other people's words, and sometimes I've seen them being bopped around with the association of Robot Monster, is riff oriented, which it definitely is. You're a riff meister, and that's coming from not just me as a guitarist, but me as a rock and roll fan that loves riffs. I love anybody that writes amazing, again, hooky groove type of riffs, hooky groove monster, atmospheric. I really like all those words that come into play when you talk about this album, because it is a great mix of blues rock, indie, and sort of a punkish vibe as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We take inspiration from like lots of different genres, not just like one style that we want to be like. We like all kinds of genres of rock and music in general.
Yeah, I'm definitely a riff guy. I mean, when I was around 8th grade, I became obsessed with Metallica, and I would learn all the riffs, like all of James and Kirk's riffs, and Mustaine too, and that like you said, like it's sort of blues oriented, and a lot of metal sort of has a blues vocabulary, and so yeah, and I'm obviously a big riff guy as well, so appreciate those kind of words.
Well, you also have the album come around with some heavy duty, whether it was DMs or it was just people like commenting on your posts. You had some pretty high praise from pretty high names. One of the guys that started helping you out was Jacqure King. That's the guy that produced Kings of Leon and a bunch of other great artists. Did he actually have something to do with helping you get the album made, or set you in the right position? How did your relationship with him start and work out?
Yeah, absolutely. So really it's a pretty unconventional, unorthodox way about how this became a band and our entire process. So yeah, we sort of started with the social media thing, and that's really all it was for a long period of time. And so we were just uploading videos, and like Logan said, we had no intention of really forming a band. It was just more about us as musicians, because we were sort of doing the social media thing separately at first. And then it was Logan's idea, hey, let's make a video together. And so we did that, and then we started getting a lot of views. Like one of our first videos got like 300,000 views. And so we said, well, let's just make this a thing. Let's just keep uploading to Instagram and TikTok and sort of get a following going. And, I played guitar, Logan played drums. And eventually we started getting some people, some Skrillex actually commented on one of our videos pretty early on. We were blown away by that. And then Jacqure got in touch with us and said, hey, like I'd be interested in recording you guys if you can, put together some strong songs. And so it was sort of his idea. And so the whole vision of the band is sort of a collaboration between us and Jacqure. And it was really Jacquere's vision to keep it a raw duo. And so, we write all the songs, but sort of the way he sort of went about producing the album, keeping it raw. It's all it is on the album is just guitar, drums, and vocals. That's it. and
Yeah.
there's no bass, and so the vision for that portion of the vision is in many ways Jacqure King. The name and sort of the lyrically and that's all us, but really, what is Robot Monster and the vision for the entire concept in the band is a collaboration between us and Jacqure King.
Well, I'm rooting for you, obviously, as a huge guitar fan. If someone that is sort of wants to pass that torch of rock and roll on to you guys, as far as the other duos that perhaps have some sort of influence in music, as maybe for your project, but definitely amongst just rock in general. There was a article that was put out, and we always try to take a headline and give the source credit to it. But there was an article called "The Greatest Duos of All Time," and I think Vic, that's up there somewhere in that brand chat. You'll see the post that it was, and that was the Rolling Stone that came up with one of those. And there was another article as well, but they were citing bands like Royal Blood, Death from Above, 1979. I'm not sure you're familiar with those guys. And then of course there's the sort of godfathers of duos in modern music would be Black Keys and White Stripes. Now, was that ever anything that you said, okay, I want to be in that genre of duos, or did you just it just happened that way because perhaps you just wanted to be in a band?
It sort of happened that way. It was pretty organic. We just thought, of course we love all those artists, and definitely we're influenced by a lot of those guys in their sound, but I think it was pretty organic. We just thought, well, this is how it's going to be. It works this way. And in many ways, how the music we write sort of it just works this way, so we thought, let's just go with it.
And do you and I'm sure that everything's much easier, touring is much easier, it's just you guys in a car. At one point hopefully it'll be you guys in a private jet, but right now everything is sort of you can scale it down, but then you can still play a lot of big stages, and you've been asked to play and invited up on a lot of big stages of late. And who are some of those bands that you've actually guested on stage with?
Yeah, so we did three shows with STP, Stone Temple Pilots, back in May, which was an honor. They're big influence for us, and so that was actually our first show. So to play with them, it was an honor, and they're just the coolest dudes. So we did 3 shows with them in upstate New York in Times Square. And we also, how long ago? Like not even a month ago, we hopped on stage with 3 Days Grace. So that was also a big honor. They're also a big influence for us.
And our first show ever, actually, like our first legitimate show, was opening for Stone Temple Pilots in New York City, which was pretty wild.
Get out, man. That's a great opener, man.
Tiny clubs, not even like a street performance or anything. It's kind of weird to think.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are built for playing subway stations and stadiums, I feel. You already got it dialed down. That's perfect. Well, everybody likes to compare. They'll see a duo band, or they'll actually see a musician and they'll go, oh, well, this guy, not only looks like him, but maybe his playing reminds me of him and stuff. Well, and I can prove it because there's a picture of myself that I've gotten some comparisons over the years. There's a guy, you might know him if Vic finds that picture. It's me and Depp, and we're playing on stage, and you can see that we're both enjoying the music, but we're both now playing with Alice in different bands. I play with obviously Alice Cooper band, and Johnny's playing in the Hollywood Vampires. Well, apparently it went so far as our, certain other people in our lives kind of have sort of a similar vibe as well. And I don't know if Vic sees that shot of Bianca and Amber, but there you go. I know Bianca's going to watch it. She's going to go, F you, Roxie. What are you putting a picture of me next to her?
Oh, man.
So I'm saying it's Vic's fault. I can always blame the producer. And then he's just shaking his head. But the one that we found of you, Will, now this is great because, you know, when you're getting compared to people, Federica, our social media guru, who's been great on all the promo this week, she found this picture and a picture of you. And
oh my
I don't
God.
know if you guys look a little bit, if you've ever been compared, but this is
compared to him all the time. Oh, I thought that was the Finn of Stranger Things all the time.
So that's those folks. That's Finn Wolfhard of Stranger Things on the left, on the right. If you put that picture up one more time, Vic, and that's Will, our hero of you know, Robot Monster. See, Finn fights the robot monsters on his TV show. Will just plays in the friggin' band. So. So there you go. And when I say that, you know, people get compared to other types of, you know, artists all the times. These are actors that have become musicians. Now, have you guys ever dabbled in the field of, you know, being actors as well?
Have you? Well, I mean, I haven't really dabbled in that. My mom used to do theater in Chicago, and they're like, I like a lot of comedy. Like I like to dabble in very strange comedy, like very cringy, bizarre stuff. I'm sort of like to entertain myself with. Like I'll go on Snapchat and get these weird filters. Like I'll pretend to be a dating coach, and I'll use this filter that will like shave my head and make me look like this like tough macho dude, and I'll be like, if you want the life that most guys can't obtain, you gotta take my course and sign up. I'll teach you how to get the girls and the life that you want, but you gotta listen to me. And that's like, you know, I do lots of characters like that. And I also,
and this isn't Robot Monster. This is not Robot Monster content. This is all, you know, this is Logan content.
This is a side project. Exactly. I shouldn't even be talking about it.
All right, you know, we don't have to. We can talk about it all, though. I think it's great because I dive down the YouTube rabbit hole all the time with comedy, and then, you know, 1 minute you're checking out this one comedian that you thought was good, and you saw him on one of the reels, and then all of a sudden you're down into some deep dark shit. So I'm sure at one point we'll end up on Logan's own site, but I find it funny that there is a lot of musicians that eventually go into acting, or a lot of, more so these days, actors that go into musicianship. And there you go. This article from Spin Magazine, this will actually be, Vic, our sort of official hot topic. There it is with the umlauts over the O, folks. I knew we'd get it there in the logo. But our hot topics today is, what do the guys in A Robot Monster think about actors that become musicians? Because, like I said, there's a few of them out there that I really feel are quite good. Because back in my day, there was a guy named Rick Springfield, Jesse's Girl. I don't know if you know that, but he was like he was on a soap opera, but he was one of the first guys that I knew from as being an actor that became like a legitimate pop star. Or maybe even David Cassidy from the Partridge Family, but that's like way before even your parents were born, probably. So what do you think about guys like, you know, for instance, Johnny Depp in the Hollywood Vampires? Are you supportive?
Oh yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I love the arts, and I think it's great when people dabble in as many and creative and artistic endeavors as they can. I mean, I have this one friend, and like one night we're just getting super philosophical, and he was like, I'm like, yo man, like what's the meaning of life? And he's like, man, the pursuit of artistic endeavors, man. And like that's really corny, but it's like, I mean, just, you know, I love that. I think it's great when people just, you know, pursue as much as they can and find many different outlets to be creative with.
Yeah, and I think that if it's authentic and it's something that's true to them, they're not just doing it for I don't know, attention or just another trophy on their shelf. I think it's positive. If somebody wants to make music and they're serious about it, I think that's fantastic. But I think
talent is talent, and once you're talented in one thing, it can actually overflow into other fields and stuff. I definitely think that way of Jared Leto, because not only is he a very good looking dude, very amazing actor, but I'm a 30 Seconds to Mars fan. Are you guys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're great. And funny story, I was actually last year, I was street performing briefly in Washington Square Park with this group of people, and Jared Leto is watching, and he was wearing this big face mask, so nobody really could see him. But a couple of us recognized him, and he gave us like a $200 tip, and it was really cool. And nobody recognized him, and he walked away. It was very, very.
Maybe he had your TikTok filter, and he was actually.
Yeah.
Maybe it spawned the idea for your whole, marriage counselor, dating coach guy. Another band I really dig on that has a punkish vibe, that you guys have that same sort of energy and feel, is an actress, Juliette Lewis and the Licks. And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with them.
Yeah, I haven't dived deep into them, but I know them.
Okay. Did my guys sort of you froze for a second. I thought you did a little robot monster type of thing. But anyhow, well, good then. So we're sort of on the same page as far as actors. We give them the thumbs up as long as they are actually quite, talented at what they do. And the ones that I just mentioned, I know that there's a lot of others that come from the Disney Channel sort of world and more of the pop world. And I don't even disparage that, because I think that the discipline that you learn as a young actor can definitely help you out in music. And what was your discipline that you guys learned as musicians? Did you guys do stuff before in school? Did you play sports? Were you in acting class? What taught you your discipline to do what you guys are doing right now and sticking with it?
I used to be a gymnast, which taught me a lot of discipline. It was pretty intensive for at least the age I was at least I think it was, I don't know. But I competed when I was in gymnastics when I was in like 7th and 8th grade, and it was 9 hours a week, just practice. Wednesday, I remember it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just 3 hours a day. Just there's all the different events, and there was conditioning at the end of every practice, push-ups, sit-ups, and so that really taught me a lot of discipline. You get like blisters on your hands, and you'd have to still go to practice 2 days later. So that definitely taught me a lot of discipline.
So blisters on your hands to calluses on your fingers.
That's right.
Good for you. And now Logan's the one with all the blisters on his hands with the drums, right?
Yeah. Well, I think with Will, one thing that we should mention is I feel like a lot of both of our discipline came from playing jazz.
I was thinking the same thing.
Will and I, Will, you went to school for jazz.
Yeah.
And we both went to high school, did this like jazz program in high school. And that world is serious and tough. Like, it's funny, we were playing more jazz than we were playing rock. Like, we were doing the band stuff and playing like tiny jazz gigs and stuff. And I feel like being immersed in that world really teaches discipline and really trying to master your craft, not really being focused on anything else, and making everything else secondary. And we both had those tough ass jazz teachers that would
like in that movie, what was it, Rimshot, or was it
what's that?
Huh? What was that movie called with had the
Whiplash?
We had those.
Yeah, that's a bit of exaggerated. Yeah, but definitely
I don't know if it is exaggerated. I think it's real.
But no, definitely like in the jazz world, the culture of jazz is just practice. Like, you practice more than you play jazz. You practice more. That's the culture of jazz, and you're trying to one up each other with practice. You hear stories about like John Coltrane and Charlie Parker. They would lock themselves in a room and practice for 12 hours. That's all they would do. John Coltrane would average 12 hours of practice a day. Sometimes
I'm just happy you actually know those names. I'm just proud of the fact that you guys know those names. So good that you have that foundation and that of jazz as sort of a source, and then you've moved it on to what you guys are sort of carving out for yourselves, which is obviously a little bit more distortion, a little bit more groove oriented on the drums and stuff. So kudos to you guys. And again, folks, if you just are tuning in right now, thanks for helping out our algorithm and hitting that like button right somewhere down below your screen, or giving us a subscribe. That really helps us out with the YouTube gods. And we are hanging out with Will and Logan from the band Robot Monster, whose self-titled debut album just came out right now this week. And you can order the vinyl, even order the cassette, and that, which I think is cool, CD or cassette, right there at their website. And I think Vic will put that website up there, robotmonstermusic.com. So right now, as I just obviously look very sweaty profusely, it's like literally in this studio, it shouldn't be this hot, but it's just hot in general here at the North Pole, in a place that literally doesn't have air conditioning in the houses or apartments because you never need it. It is sweltering. So anyway, I'm working through it. I'm going to go full screen right now and do one of our little sort of ads that we have for our sponsors. And of course, you saw at the very beginning, if you want to learn how to play guitar and you want to check out the System 12, you can check all that out at ryanroxie.com and /System 12 and get you started on the right way to learn your fundamentals of guitar. And hopefully one day join a duo, join a trio, join a quartet, join what happens after that? I guess it's just 5-piece. And then after that, you're just joining in Earth, Wind, and Fire. But you can check out System 12. But the big news that we have going on right now in Roxie World is that the All Access Pass is available right now. Roxie's All Access Pass. Just go to ryanroxie.com and you can check out, because Alice Cooper and the entire band with our special guest guitarist Kane Roberts will be out on the road touring where Robot Monster lives. We're going to be touring the Northeast, everywhere around there in the next couple months in September, October, and All Access will get you content and sort of an insight into what actually goes on every day on the road, from the minute I step in the taxi to go to the airport to fly over to the States till the minute I step off that last show that we have somewhere in Texas. Now I'm hearing that we're playing some sort of festival in Texas. So check out, again, tour dates, all that kind of stuff, right on the front homepage, ryanroxie.com. But let's get back to Will and Logan from Robot Monster. Thank you very much, guys. And talk about giving some appreciation. We were talking about before the show about how, do you appreciate some of the old school rockers that are out there? We want to give just a little bit of tribute, a little bit of respect to some of the rockers that have passed away in 2022 already, including just recently Grim Reaper vocalist Steve Grimlett, and of course, original Bon Jovi bassist Alec John Such, a guy that I got to jam with a lot from the band Yes, and from the John Lennon band. Alan White has also passed away. And unfortunately, this article came out, and just too many people that have actually, rock and rollers that have passed away in 2022 so far. But we have the new school of rock and rollers that are stepping up and doing their job as well. But as you can see in that memoriam, the great Meatloaf, again, original Bon Jovi bassist Alec John Such, and just released this week is the tribute show for Taylor Hawkins that's coming out. And I know we wanted to talk a little bit about that. And I want everyone to go check out what they're doing over there for that tribute concert. There's going to be two, one in the UK and also one in, I believe, Los Angeles. And have you guys gotten invited to that yet?
No.
That would be a nice one to get invited to as well and just celebrate, because I'm sure that Foo Fighters is one of those bands that you guys have been listening to for years as well.
Oh yeah, I actually met Dave Grohl when I was a little kid, and he was the nicest guy, and he gave me advice. I asked him what I should be listening to, and like how to become a better musician. He gave me like the most down to earth wisdom. He's such a cool dude.
Well, here's the thing. I actually interviewed Taylor not that many years ago, and we actually have a small little clip of the music he was giving us to listen to back then. So I guess it could be advice. It could be some listening advice for you guys as well. But if we have that small clip, Vic, do you want to run it? Let's do it.
Yeah, you know, go watch Queen 1974 Live at the Rainbow. They haven't put that out on DVD yet. They really should.
And I believe they actually did after that. So Queen Live at the Rainbow. Big Queen fans at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I definitely could listen to some Queen. They're great. They're very authentic.
Yeah, I love Brian May. I mean, just his guitar playing, just, you know.
Definitely another riffmeister as well, like yourself, Will. But so that, with all that in mind, and because, you know, Taylor told us to go check out Queen, which we obviously have and been fans for years, go check out Taylor's tribute concert, because it's going to be a monumental event, and I know that a lot of us will be watching, and it'll be streamed live. I just found that out again this week. So thank you everyone for that, donating to the super chat as well. Amy Hampton, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. And we see all your comments that are coming up. We are here with the boys in Robot Monster, and we are talking about all these old school rockers, because they're new school rockers. Who do you think will be the new headliners in years to come? Because there is going to be a changing of the guard.
Yeah.
Do you have any bands that you feel like could step into that position for being the new headliners that you guys could see yourself on a bill with?
Yeah. Well, we hope to be that. But
there you go.
Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff. I feel like a lot of the really great new rock bands aren't getting the exposure that they deserve. Like there is so there's another rock duo called Cleopatra, and they're really cool. They have really great music. And there's also this other Connecticut band. They're a jam band, but they're like redefining jam band music. They're called Goose. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're kind of like making jam band music of like the Grateful Dead and stuff more appealing to a younger audience, bringing in more melodies into their music and more just sort of changing the game. And I think they're gonna really change the game, and they already are. But they're not really rock.
So you're giving Goose a total plug right now. That's a local jam duo. A jam duo. That's what I want to hear. A Grateful Dead type of jamish, but they're in duo form. Is it the same setup? Guitarist, drummer?
They're not a duo.
They're not. Okay.
Or is a duo.
Cleopatra was. Sorry, I got mixed up. Yeah. Well, if it's a Grateful Dead band type of jam, and they're from Connecticut, there's probably about 13 or 14 people in that.
Yeah, but I mean, back to your question, like I think that there is a lack of people playing. There's lots of great stuff, I'm not saying that, but like there is a lack of people playing guitars and drum sets and like trying to make rock and roll. You know, a lot of people are trying to conform to the trends of today, saying, you know, rock is dead, so if we want to make it, we got to make like bedroom pop rock. But
I think you guys have done a really good job of doing it live, but keeping it really forceful. And if someone's interested and inspired to play guitar or drums, all they have to do is look at a few of your clips, and they could see just how possible it is.
Absolutely.
Which gets me to the point of, like, you know, in a lot of those clips, and that's good if you keep that picture up, because there's a special character in a lot of your video posts and stories, and it's kind of a mystery of who this is. Who is that senior gentleman rocker that seems to accompany you? That's Grandpa.
That's Grandpa. Yeah, it's our Grandpa.
You could have just titled the band "Don't Touch Grandpa" instead of. But obviously, I was in a band called Don't Touch Grandpa already, so I could loan the name out to you. But we Don't Touch Grandpa in our form doesn't have any plans on reforming, just so you know. So But I think Robot Monster is fine. But how do you guys envision the future of the promotion of these types of albums that you're doing? Are you planning on continuing this TikTok, Instagram? You know, can you tour this way? Is it possible?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, the world has changed because of social media. It's it's a lot different. It's still evolving. It's always ever evolving. But yeah, I think in some ways, I mean, you can reach now a larger audience than you ever could touring. With social media. So definitely, it's something. It'll never go away. I think from this point on, at least in some form. And so yeah, we got to just keep using it. And
yeah, I feel like it's uncharted territory. Like I don't think anybody really understands like what will become of social media and how impactful it's going to be. But like we're already seeing so many artists are really making names for themselves online alongside like playing shows and stuff too. And I just think if you could make stuff that people enjoy and put it out there for a wide audience online, then they're going to buy tickets to your shows and support you if they connect with it.
I agree. What I don't agree with is Kanak trolling me on the comments saying maybe you guys could give me tips on how to do TikTok and get a following there. There's a reason. It's just simple math, dude. You take 50 something minus your guys are 20 something, right? And that's a 30 years difference plus or minus. There's your answer right there, Kanak. You troller, you. But anyhow, I appreciate all the comments that come up on there, as of course. But for sure, I want to hear what would be your perfect bill that you could be on, because there is no such there. You can't replace, and we found this out during the pandemic. You can do all the isolation videos that you want, but there's nothing that replaces a band playing in front of a live audience. What would be that ultimate bill for each of you? And maybe it's the same.
You go first.
Yeah, well, mine would be Metallica, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I saw them when I was in 8th grade on their World Magnetic Tour, when they were for their 2008 Death Magnetic album. And that was a near religious experience for me because I was a Metallica nut at that time in my life. And so just that would just be amazing for me.
So it's Metallica for you. You're on the bill with Metallica.
Every night headlining, nothing else.
Yep, exactly.
And how about you, Logan?
I think I'm just trying to think, and I think if I had to, I'd think of older stuff. Like I'd put like the Beatles, Black Sabbath, Zeppelin, the Stones.
Damn.
Then I'd put like Nirvana. That would be really cool. And then Robot Monster.
There you go. You know what? You still have some humility. You still have, but you know what? The album just came out. Give it some time, folks. But which brings me to a good point, both Logan and Will. Should there be an expiration? Again, we can put up the hot topics because this is something that is one of our hot topics. HAWTTOPIX. Wow. With umlauts over both of those. Should there be an expiration date for a rock star? I feel that there should not, because I'm up in that upper echelon. But, and if you ask me, I can make an argument for there not being an expiration date on a rock star. Because I said there's going to be a changing of the guard at one point where people are going to be stepping down, stop touring for whatever reasons, just getting older, just health reasons, whatever. But when I see guys like, obviously my boss, Alice Cooper, you said, Logan, Mick Jagger, Biff Byford from Saxon, who I just saw last week kick ass on stage. And I see Alice Cooper kick ass on stage every single night. Rob Halford from Judas Priest, for instance. When I see those guys, I say, there's no expiration date. You push the envelope for as long as it goes. But then something to think about when I say, for instance, to you guys, should John Bon Jovi have an expiration date?
Absolutely not. Absolutely
No,
not.
I don't know.
You are never too old to rock. You're never too old to rock.
There it is.
Yeah.
You just got the Bon Jovi opening slot, huh? You're a politician, Will.
What's that?
You're a good politician because you know what? You said absolutely not so quick. You're going to get the opening slot for Bon Jovi. I love it. What about David Coverdale and Whitesnake?
Never too old. Never too old.
Too.
Never too
Ozzy
old.
Osbourne?
Never too old.
I love Ozzy's so
Ozzy's-
much.
Ozzy's the man.
He's more badass than so many young people nowadays.
I mean, the whole idea of rock is that you're shameless. So like age isn't just a number. You just get up there and you don't care. You just rock.
I'm not about any limits or
Yeah.
constraints. Like that's so dumb. It's like it's all about what it's about who you are.
I mean,
not
look
about
at
your age.
our grandpa. His birthday is actually on this coming Tuesday, and he'll be 83. So you're never too old to rock.
So your grandpa, now does he, because he actually spits a lot of philosophy in some of those clips that I've seen. And folks, like I said, we're going to get to all the social media connections. If you don't have them already, you will be following by the end of this episode very shortly. But their grandfather, who turns, what do you say, 83 next Tuesday? He does some wax poetic stuff on your clips and stuff. Is he always been a fan of the band, or did you coerce him into it, or did you just put a little bit more of his medication in the tea in the morning?
Yeah, it was just like sort of how this originated. The whole grandpa thing was pretty spontaneous. We actually sort of we were going to do another thing with him, but we just started filming, and he just started doing his own thing, just going crazy, and it just worked. And so we just thought it was hilarious, and he's just funny. And, he's the type of guy you try to get him to do something, he'll just make it his own thing. He'll just turn it into something. So
at one point, we're going to have to get him on as a special guest. Once the album blows completely up, do we get first dibs on him, on the interview from him? What's his name? So does he have an Instagram? Does he have a TikTok?
He does not. He's just grandpa.
Just grandpa? Yeah. I love it. We're going to start Don't Touch Grandpa with just him. That'll be a solo offshoot project.
He doesn't even have a smartphone. He just still uses a flip phone.
Fucking great.
Yeah.
Well, hey, let's talk about some other people than your grandfather. One is that we have a fan of the week, and every single week we choose someone from the In the Trenches group, the RGA, the Roxy Guitar Army, someone that's deserving of being our fan of the week. If you want to be a fan of the week, all you have to do, folks out there, is promote this episode, hit like, hit subscribe, follow Will and Logan and Robot Monster on their social media, and you will be up for contention. But this week's fan of the week, Vic, you want to run it? Let's do it. There she is, Marilyn Stein. Marilyn Stein. We just had a really good weekend doing some acoustic shows down in southern Sweden, and Marilyn was amazing. So there you go. Our fan of the week. Thank you very much. And if you're interested in what's happening next week, well, how about this? We're going to be taking a week off next week. So that's why we have an extra week to milk your episode, guys. And so we're going to talk about the tour dates in just a second there, Vic. But guess what, folks? Our next week's week after that, which will be September 2nd, will be a very cool gig. And it'll be Eric Grunwald from the band Skid Row, new lead singer of the band Skid Row. And we were talking about who are the new front men in last week's episode with Kelly Lemieux, bassist of Buck Cherry. We had a whole segment. One of our hot topics was who are the new front men, and we had mentioned a bunch of different bands, Manskin. We had also mentioned, who else did we mention on that show, Vic? I know that Manskin came up a lot, but Eric Grunwald from Skid Row, he came up strong in the comments over the week. Do you guys have any front men or front women that you guys are sort of championing that are the new school of front men performers?
Well, let me think. Let me think. Well, right now, I just finished listening to Shinedown's new album. And so Brent Smith, he's somebody I really like.
Maybe Shinedown's one of those new bands, could be the new headliner.
Yeah, I love the new album. I mean, the especially the song that the album is named after. But
We haven't had any of them on in the trenches yet. We got to get them on in the trenches as well.
But
All right.
again, I don't know.
There you go. You got a physical copy right there. Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If they don't want to just buy the album and off the website and buy the vinyl, you guys will probably have it available at live shows.
Yes,
Totally.
absolutely.
Yeah, we'll be selling it at the merch booth, talking.
Yeah.
And you'll be going out. And because there you go, Vic. Right on cue. There are the actual tour dates that you guys are going on next. And is this the band, The Bronx? You called The Bronx?
Yeah.
Punk band? Drug Church. Actually, Gilby Clark, a guy that I played with before, he produced their first album, The Bronx. Drug Church, Robot Monster, and Meatwave.
Yeah.
How did that tour come along? And was it done through a series of DMs, or what went down with that?
Yeah, the Bronx hit us up and asked us if we wanted to go on this tour. So yeah, we're going from Pennsylvania, starting there, and down to Memphis, Tennessee. 5 shows. What other dates? We got Washington D.C.
Going
D.C.
Atlanta.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we're going down south and then to Memphis.
You're going all the way down through the rest of the year. So I was going to ask you your plans for the rest of 2022, but then what happens in 2023? Do you continue the ride? What do you do?
Oh, but actually, before the Bronx shows, we're doing one other STP show in less than a month in September 10th in Schenectady, New York. I'm super pumped about that. I can't wait to see those guys again.
You know what? Alice Cooper's going to be around touring around that area around the same time. So if our paths cross, if our tour bus and your tour, I don't know, skateboard at that point, or maybe maybe you guys have a tour bus. Hell, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to. It's 2 guys. You can fit all your stuff in a rent-a-car, and that's what I used to do back in the day. But when you guys do tour, are you upscaling it, or are you rock starring it, or are you right now paying the dues and sort of being in the trenches and working it?
Yeah, we're just getting an SUV with a trailer. We're just lugging that around.
Yeah, like there's no need for a van or a bus. Like when we play these shows, we're just gonna have a friend help us and help drive and stuff, and just go on a road trip. There's no need for anything fancy right now. And we just
anybody that's out there that wants to be in a band and wants to actually make it and actually make some money out of it, listen to what fucking Logan's saying right now. Don't live beyond your means at that time. And guess what? What these guys are doing is exactly right. You're in the trenches, you're paying your dues, and you're just working it, and you're perfecting your craft night after night. So congrats on that, man.
Yeah, thank you. We saw you guys are playing at
The
the Oakdale soon. That's right by us. We should all link up.
We're gonna definitely. You guys are on. You guys are coming down for sure.
Yeah.
Should I talk to the boss and see if there's a chance for you guys to come up and guest? That would be just another notch in your lipstick belt.
Yeah.
I'll try it, but you know what? My influence isn't always that. It's always comes down to like what the promoter says or what this guy says. But we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. There might be another DM coming your way. But we're heading out to the highway. And this is the point that everybody wants to get on. Get out your pencils, get out your paper. Tell everybody that's listening on the audio broadcast as well, the best way to get in touch with you guys and get a hold of your music and find out, because we have all the social media links right on the screen right there. Tell them about it on the radio, though.
Yeah, so you can follow us on Spotify, Robot Monster, Instagram, Robot Monster Music, Facebook, Robot Monster Music, TikTok, Robot Monster Music.
If you look up Robot Monster anywhere, we'll come up. So you'll find it'll be the first thing that will come up. Just Robot Monster Music, and on all streaming platforms, all social media, you'll find us. Instagram's kind of our main platform right now, so that's where we post announcements and stuff. But listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music. Check out our new music video on YouTube. It's featuring Grandpa.
Yeah,
we're very proud of it. Hopefully, we'll be on other things too, other news.
You know what we'll do is on the whole Roxie All Access thing that I do is like a little bit off the public Ryan Roxie Instagram site. I have this private one where everybody wants to hear all the little information. Maybe we'll do some going, perhaps when you guys do this STP gig or whatever, or when we cross paths, when we meet, when you guys come down to the show. Let's plan on that. All right.
Oh, that's great.
And I know that you guys, you haven't been touring for decades and decades, but you have been dedicated to what you've been doing as your own project. Maybe it's your grandpa, maybe it's you guys, but I always leave with, have you heard any advice? Have you been, or can you give us any advice for our listeners about how they can actually improve their lives, or sort of, something to live by that maybe your grandpa told you, or maybe you guys have some sort of creed that you follow? Any sort of advice at all for our listeners?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've learned this about a lot of people that I looked up to and admired, and sort of I think this has sort of influenced their success. It's just being always open. I've noticed is just always a great trait to have. Being open to relationships, to people, open to knowledge. Always stay curious. I think always stay curious. Always be I think that's a great trait that I've noticed that I try to apply to myself. Stay open.
I love it. Will and Logan, do you have one?
Yeah, I would say something important to me is to always be yourself no matter what. Don't sacrifice who you are to try to fit into what's current or anything, because trends never last. And I believe that what lasts is what's real and authentic. That's what eventually becomes timeless. And I just think for any aspiring artist to try to be unapologetically themselves and not try to dress or sound like what they think is going to make them successful. So I think authenticity and being yourself can make people's lives way more fulfilling. At least it does for me. I don't know.
Yeah. And actually matching black t-shirts through all of us it never goes wrong as well. It always
No, I'm just kidding.
I love it. Well, anyway, you know what? Well spoken, and you have the right friggin' attitude. I'm so happy and that I made that DM when I first saw those things, that, hey, I want you guys on the podcast, and you guys responded. It's been a great talk, and I look forward to more. I look forward to seeing you guys taking it up the next level. Everybody out there, again, if you want to check out Robot Monster and buy their vinyl, the link is right there in the bottom. We'll have it all down in the descriptions right there. And again, hit the link, hit the like, hit the subscribe button for not just us, but hit it for them as well. And of course, for Grandpa, because the new video is it out now, or is it coming out?
It's on YouTube.
You can go check out Grandpa. Just don't touch him, but you can check out Grandpa right now with a new video. And what's the song for?
Get Somewhere. It's our latest single. So yeah, we had 3 songs out previously, and we just released our last single with the rest of the albums. It's called Get Somewhere.
Well, the 8-song self-titled album release is out right now, so you can go check that out. I want to just say, Will Brennan, Logan Seidel. I think did I nail it?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Thank you so much for being in the trenches, man. And everybody else, we will see you in 2 weeks. Thank you very much, Vic, our producer, Federica. We have as our social media guru, and of course, Evan Longreed for making all the graphics on the Hot Topics front. Appreciate you guys very much. Everybody in the chat. We will see you in 2 weeks with Eric Grunwald from the band Skid Row. But you know what? Just go on and check out Robot Monster right now. And until next time, folks, I'm Ryan Roxie. Enjoy the ride. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
So much.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
In the Trenches with Ryan Roxie.